A window can look harmless to us and confusing to a bird. The bird notices something before the person does. From a bird's angle, the window may not look like a wall at all. The clue is right there, but only if you know where to look. A bird does not read a yard as one place. It reads roots, cover, light, and escape. The fastest path is not always the safest looking path. The clue may be only a few inches wide, a branch that continues where no branch exists. Sometimes the survival move is not flying, it is waiting. The person may be doing nothing wrong and still miss the sign. When a path feels uncertain, birds may spend more time exposed. One bird's hesitation can change another bird's route. From the porch, it may look like nothing is happening. For a small bird, a few feet of open air can be a real decision. Watch the eye. It often tells you what the bird is checking. That pause is not empty. It may be the bird solving the yard. A feeder can help birds, but its line of approach matters. From the bird's route, the feeder and reflection can overlap. The food may be clear. The route to it may not be. A safer perch may be only a little farther away. The yard becomes easier to understand when you see the triangle: food, glass, and cover. The window may not look the same all day. A bird may react to a window that was less confusing an hour ago. Glare can erase the wall and leave only sky. Inside the house, the window may feel like a view, not an object in the yard. Shade can give a bird time to read the yard. From cover, the bird can compare real branches with reflected branches. The direct approach leaves no place to pause. The reflection is alive with movement, even though the glass is still. A cleaner window may be better for the view and harder for birds to read. The bird is not afraid of your yard. It may be trying to read it. Birds may not avoid a confusing place forever. They may test it again. A small change in angle can make the glass easier to understand. The bird does not rush to the feeder. It lands where it can still turn away. Sometimes the clue is not where birds go. It is where they do not go. Every extra check costs a little time and energy. A confusing approach can slow the whole feeder rhythm. The difference may be one side of the same object. Even a breeze can make the false yard move. Retreat is not failure. It is often the safer decision. The clue is not just the window. It is the window plus the route. Weather can change what the window shows. Wind asks birds to make decisions faster. A few drops can change the surface of the glass. Sometimes a visible surface gives bird more information. The same window can be confusing, clearer, or confusing again. Birds understand some reflections differently because the surface tells a different story. Water moves, breaks, and shows its edge. Glass does not ripple when a bird looks at it. The first helpful step is noticing the pattern. Repeated head turns near glass can be a clue worth watching. A bird may loop around a window line instead of crossing it. From the safer line, the window no longer looks like the only path. Pause points can show where the yard begins to feel uncertain. Sometimes birds leave clues on the route itself. Once you notice the pauses, the yard starts to look different. At another hour, the same window may look less confusing. The clue is easier to see when you compare the same place at 2 times. A visible edge can help the bird understand the surface. When the yard is easier to read, the bird spends less time exposed. The window tells a different story as light, weather, and angle change. The goal is not to force birds closer. It is to make the yard easier to read. A simple indoor change can change what the outside glass reflects. Now the false yard is interrupted. The bird no longer sees only sky and branches. The bird tests the change from cover, not from trust. Simple visible patterns can stop the glass from pretending to be open air. The marks do not have to be loud. They just have to interrupt the illusion. Safer does not mean birds rush in. It means they have clearer choices. When the false path is broken, the safer route becomes easier to choose. The window has not disappeared, but the illusion has changed. Windows are not the only shiny surfaces birds may have to read. A smaller reflection can still look like a gap in the yard. A handle or frame may be the clue that breaks the illusion. The bird must choose between a real opening and a reflected one. The helpful clue works best where birds actually travel. The yard can change again overnight. At dawn, birds may retest yesterday's route. Morning has its own clues: dew, low light, and a fresh reflection. One cautious bird can set the route for others. A single pause can become a pattern across the yard. On hot days, light can make the yard even harder to read. A bird may not need to crash into anything for the yard to be costly. A safer yard gives birds choices that do not force them into one risky path. The water shows its surface with ripples and edges. With one need met safely, the bird can choose the next move more carefully. A yard can feel different when cover breaks the open path. Small placement choices can give birds a better option. After a change, birds may wait before accepting it. When the route feels readable, the first test may be small. The window is one pressure, but birds feel the whole yard at once. Tomorrow, you can look for the same clues in your own yard. First, watch for birds staring at the glass longer than expected. Second, watch for repeated head tilts toward the same pane. Third, notice when a bird nearly lands, then chooses another place. Fourth, watch the empty space as closely as the bird. Fifth, watch whether birds stop in cover before approaching glass side areas. Sixth, notice whether birds move differently when the reflection changes. These clues are small, but together they tell a clear story. Now the first pause looks different. The safest help often leaves birds room to choose. Even after improvements, changing size can bring the puzzle back. The visual cues still matter when the weather changes. Sometimes the safest choice is simply not crossing yet. A full feeder does not mean birds should use it every moment. A safer yard still lets birds say no. After the pressure passes, birds test the yard again. Several small cues can work together. The bird still checks, but the check is shorter. A clearer route can become a shared route again. The same window now tells a different story. The bird still belongs to the yard, not the window. From bird height, the yard no longer offers only one confusing path. The bird still decides. The yard simply gives it a clearer choice. A calmer bird may still be alert. It just has fewer confusing clues to solve. The person did not need to touch the bird to help the bird choose. The window is still beautiful, but now it means more. In your yard, watch for pauses, head tilts, rejected landings, empty routes, and cover stops. A bird acting strangely near a window may not be random. The window has not changed into a villain. It has become a clue. A safer yard is not silent because nothing happens. It is silent because birds can choose calmly. The bird was never trying to be strange. It was trying to survive a confusing place. And when one route becomes clearer, more birds may find it. Sometimes the best routine is a predictable, quiet one. The surface now gives more clues than it hides. The clue in your yard may be a pause, a tilt, a detour, or an empty space. Think about your own windows. Have birds ever acted strangely near them? What looked like a clean window now looks like a survival clue. A bird cannot understand glass the way we do, but we can learn to understand the bird. Do birds ever act strangely around your windows? Look closely tomorrow. The clue may already be there.